Tinok SheNishba? Tinok SheNishba, according to the Gemara in Masechet Avodah Zarah, it says, throughout the generations, unfortunately, Am Yisrael has been in the exile for already 2,000 years. And in those 2,000 years, there hasn't been a single year we didn't suffer. Some years worse than others. And throughout the sufferings, many times the Goyim decided that it's not enough that they're just torturing us. They want to take it to the next level. What do they want to do? They want to take our people and make them believe that they are them. So they steal our babies. Sometimes they steal our babies with a smile. Sometimes they steal our babies with a punch in the face. Depends. Sometimes they just steal, they kidnap the kid and raise him like a goy and make the kid think that he's a goy. But more times than not, it even happened during the Holocaust, where certain people pretended to be friends of Jews and told them, listen, we'll hide your kid and save his life so Hitler doesn't kill him. And I'll just put him in the church. So after the World War II, after the Holocaust, the parents that survived came to the places, came to the reverend, came to the pastor, came to the Oved Avodah Zarah, came to those people, said, okay, I want my kid back. Your kid? What kid? What kid? Yeah, that one. Not your kid. It's my kid. What do you mean? I thought you were a virgin. No, before. All of them are my kids. Like all of a sudden they pretended like, no, it's my kid. It's not your kid. And some parents weren't able to get their kids. But they steal the kids. This is not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. It's happened throughout all the generations. And the kid could literally grow up not knowing that he's Jewish. So according to the original Gemara, according to the original Halacha, that's a Tinok SheNishba. A Tinok, a baby that was stolen by the Goyim and doesn't know he's Jewish. Obviously, this baby, Hashem made that happen. This baby is not going to be judged as a sinner the same way as someone who knows he's a Jew. That's a Tinok SheNishba. The Gemara goes further. It says, what about a goy that converted? A goy that converted to Judaism, but then went back and hung out with his non-Jewish friends and stopped keeping the mitzvot. He stopped doing it. So what do you mean? So he converted and he went to the Jewish community, then he left? He goes, no. He never officially left his community. He stayed there. Originally wanted to convert. But after the momentum went away, after 6 months, a year, 6, whatever it was, where he didn't feel like doing it anymore, he stopped. He says that person never converted to begin with. That person never converted to begin with. You can't be a Jew if you stay exactly where you are. You have to become part of the Jewish people. He says, what about if no one ever taught him to keep Shabbat? They converted him, but they never taught him to keep Shabbat. Gemara says they converted him without telling him to keep Shabbat. There's no conversion like that. That's the foundation of Judaism. If you're not going to teach the goy the foundation of Judaism by telling him that, according to the Rambam, by telling him that if you break Shabbat, Hashem is going to kill you. If you don't tell him the foundation, his conversion is void. A conversion never took place. He could swim in the mikveh for a week. It's not going to help him. Anyone that converts without keeping Shabbat, his conversion is void. There's no conversion. Yeah, but the rabbi can say until he's blue in the face. In Shemaim, you're not a convert. You're nothing. You stayed exactly where you are. You came in there Esav, you're staying Esav. You came in Ishmael, you stayed Ishmael. There's Gemara. So now, Rabotai, some of the Chachamim said yes, but sometimes you have certain people that were born into the kibbutz, secular places. Secular places, atheism, communism. What about them? They never really knew what Judaism was. They never knew what Judaism was. They knew they were Jewish, they were called Jewish, but they didn't actually know what that means. So there are a few a few, very few, less than a handful of opinions that say if somebody grew up in such a place, maybe they can fall under the definition of Tinok SheNishba. But the majority of the opinions say no. If he knows he's Jewish, there's no such thing as a person that knows he's Jewish but doesn't know at least what something is. Like, unless he lives, I don't know, in Greenland and he's surrounded by snow and ice. We're talking about if he lives in New York, in Pennsylvania, in California, in Israel somewhere, all these, all over Europe, different random places. He sees Jews. He sees Jews. He knows Judaism. Maybe he doesn't know all the laws. Maybe he doesn't know all the punishments. But he sees a bunch of people with a hat, people with kisui rosh, women covering their hair, dressing differently, acting differently. They have a book they call the Torah. They have a day they call Shabbat. He knows this Hanukkah. Once he knows, he's not Tinok SheNishba. Even more so, some people want to say, only today, no poskim, just people. Some of them call themselves rabbis. No, all secular people are Tinok SheNishba. And this question came up to me many, many times, and it came to me again recently. So let's explain Tinok SheNishba once and for all. Once and for all, we'll have this debate, beginning, middle, end. 5 minutes. Even if one wants to rely on the opinion that people are Tinokot SheNishba, even if one wants to rely on the opinion that all secular people are babies that were stolen because their father and their mother raised them secular. Their father and their mother raised them eating pig and bunnies and camels and driving on Shabbat and eating chametz on Pesach and eating a mac and cheese on Yom Kippur. Let's say. Even if, let's say, you want to rely on the fact that just because he grew up secular, going to public school like I did, he's considered a Tinok SheNishba. You still cannot use that argument. Why? Because this Tinok SheNishba, number one, the minute he goes to a synagogue, one time in his life, he is officially no longer a Tinok SheNishba. Why? He realizes that there is something called Judaism. And Judaism is different from everything else. There are laws, there's rules, there's punishment, there's reward, just by being there. And realizing that there's signs on the wall where they ask you, don't speak during prayer. You realize that there's something special about this prayer. Oh, we're praying to something. Oh, there's a God. Oh, why is it? Oh, he gave us the Torah. Once a person, any person that's a normal person, goes to a synagogue, realizes there's something there. The minute they're inside a synagogue, that's it. They're no longer Tinok SheNishba. So the vast majority of secular people go to shul once a year for Yom Kippur, twice a year for maybe for Chanukah or something. They're no longer Tinok SheNishba. Or if one of these Chabadniks goes over there and puts tefillin on them, even if he's eating a pig 5 minutes later, once he put on tefillin, he's no longer Tinok SheNishba. He officially knows there's something here. Once he gives tzedakah, and he knows it's a mitzvah, he's no longer Tinok SheNishba. He's no longer Tinok SheNishba. Now let's say you don't want to listen to that part. Let's say you just, like I didn't say it. Like it's not written. Let's say. Okay. Let's say it, I didn't say it. Now if your son or daughter, and it has to be your son or daughter, nobody else's son. Why? Because you're not going to care about somebody else's son. You're going to care about your son. So I want you, Mr. Rabbi, to look in the mirror when you're saying this to yourself. If your son, and you have your son or daughter right next to you, looking at yourself also, this whole session you should look at each other. Look at your son, look at your daughter. Someone stole your son or daughter. Someone stole them. Rasha, missionary, stole them. Took them away from you. You don't have any access to them. They don't even want the bounty. They don't want any money. They don't want anything. They just want your son. They want your daughter. And one of your friends said, oh, yeah, your son and daughter, yeah, they're in my office. They come every day with the guy that stole them. They come every day. come every day. The guy that stole them, you bring them to the door. You can tell them, oh, wow, that's too bad. What are you going to tell them? So bring him. And he stole. It's my son. Bring my son. Bring my son. No, I can't. It's not my business to bring your son. What do you mean it's not your business? It's my son. Save my son. Show me where your office. I'll go bring my son. Let me do something. Save my son. Why are you letting my son stay like that? He stole him. He robbed him. It's my son. What do you think Hashem is saying? What gives you the right to let him stay a Tinok SheNishba? Let's say he's a Tinok SheNishba. Let's say his parents, or somebody stole him. The Yetzirah stole him for 30 years. Fine. Let's say. But once you see that's Hashem's son, what gives you the right to keep him a hostage for the Yetzirah and not tell him the truth? Hey, son, you're Hashem's son. You're Hashem's son. You have to do tshuva. What gives you the right to leave him like that? You cannot leave Hashem's son a prisoner. Once you've identified that's Hashem's son, you have no right to keep him that way. To keep him a prisoner. So even if you want to use the fake excuse that everyone in this generation, 90% of American Jews that violate Shabbat, they're all Tinokot SheNishba. They're all stolen babies that are prisoners. Okay, you've identified them. You've identified they're all children of Hashem. Why are you keeping them prisoners? Why don't you tell them, come back? No, this is your father. He's over here. Make a right, make a left. I'll take you. You know what? I'll take you. Come, jump in the car. Why are you going to leave them prisoners? Okay, the whole Tinokot SheNishba. Okay, they stole him. Fine. Let's say you're right. Why are you keeping him that way? Why can't you tell them, listen, you have to keep Shabbat? They stole you. I'm going to save you. Why? You call yourself a lover of Hashem? While you see his kids staying prisoners? You're the most vicious person on planet Earth. Paro is looking at you from Gehenom, says he's worse than me. At least I killed bodies. He's killing Neshamot. Paro is better than you. And that's why the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, page 119, I believe, says there's no other reason that the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed other than the fact that people chose not to rebuke, not to tell the truth, not to tell all of these Tinokot SheNishbu, hey, your father is Hashem. You have to listen to him. This is not your father. Let me show you the way home. So even if you want to use your excuse that they're all Tinokot SheNishba, you still can't keep them that way. You still can't keep them that way. And that's why, Rabotai, the rest and the majority of the poskim say that all of the seculars are not Tinokot SheNishbu. Even if they grew up in secular neighborhoods and secular lives and all of that other stuff, they're still not. Why? Because in today's world, it's impossible. It's impossible not to know at least the basic minimum of what distinguishes you from being a non-Jew. Once you know you're a Jew, you know you're different from everybody else. Even if you don't know the entire Torah, you know you're different from everybody else. Why? It's everywhere. Hashem made sure to make sure that it's everywhere. You have Torah everywhere. On your phone, at work, on TV even. On TV even. On the internet, on Facebook, on Twitter, on everywhere there's Torah. Everywhere there's people that look Jewish. Everywhere there's a Bet Knesset. Everywhere. So for all of those people that want to fight the case, if you will, for Am Yisrael, as if they're doing them a favor, say, no, they're all Tinokot SheNishbu. Okay, let's say you're right. Why are you leaving them prisoners then? Oh, they're not really prisoners. It's just that what you're doing, you're telling them they're prisoners. Why? Because you're telling them, listen, you don't have to do anything except give tzedakah. Except give me a little bit of money and I'll fight for you in Shemayim. And that's exactly what happened with this young person that I met a couple of weeks ago. Masha, broke my heart. Why? The kid calls himself religious. I asked him right away, because today I know this, religious is a meaningless word almost. Orthodox, even less. I say, you keep Shabbat? Well, no, I don't keep Shabbat, but I'm religious. I said, how are you religious? Because I lay tefillin every day. Because my father's more religious. I said, how is your father more religious? He goes, he goes to Beit Knesset every day. I said, you go with a car on Shabbat? Because, yeah. I said, he's not religious. He's not religious at all. He goes, what do you mean he's not religious? Every year, he tells me, every year on Yom Kippur is a competition between him and Mr. Such and Such in the Keilah on buying the aliyah for Parnassah. And no year has it ever been less than $100,000 that my father donated. And I'm right now, as he's saying the story, my heart is shattering to pieces. Why? I'm thinking, this rabbi of this Keilah is mamash worse than Paro, worse than Hitler. Why? How can you take, let's say, I mean, this has been going on for years. He's been going to this Chabad, actually. He's going to this Chabad in Boca Raton for years. Now, how are you going to take at least $100,000 a year from a guy for 20 years? That's $2 million. 20 years. You can't tell the guy, keep Shabbat, save your own neshama. He paid you $2 million. Hasn't he earned a little bit of truth? Ribono shel olam. Hasn't he earned? Even Moshe Rabbeinu did it for free. You took $2 million. At least tell him the truth, Ribono shel olam. Tell him the truth. Tell him stop driving on Shabbat. You took the money. I can't believe how wicked people are. Mamash, this is evil. In my eyes, in Torah's eyes, evil. There's no other way to describe it. You take money from somebody and you don't tell them the minimum of what's going to save their neshama. Evil. That's the student. That's the student that's only looking for bad, because sometimes that student can be called a rabbi. What does he do? He keeps all the good for himself. The money, yeah, give me the money. You keep the bad. You still stay in Mechalel Shabbat. You still eat donkeys. You still act like an Arab. You still do whatever it is. You still like the same. You stay bad. But give me the money, though. Give me the money. Unbelievable how evil people are. Why you don't like it? This is happening in every Beit Knesset. Every Beit Knesset that I've seen around, every Beit Knesset is happening. Why? You see, every Beit Knesset has a parking lot that's alive. Alive and running on Shabbat, and no one says anything. Unbelievable. How could you be so evil? How can you be so evil? Tell the guy, keep Shabbat. It's the minimum of minimum. You're not even doing him a favor. It's for you too, because you're going to go up to Shemaim. They're going to judge you worse. You're Machtia Rabim.